Welcome to another episode of Real with Ryan, where I'm starting to learn how to code and going on the journey from being a complete newbie, knowing almost nothing about code, to hopefully a full stack web developer. So in this episode, or I guess the last clip or last episode, we were working only in JavaScript, doing all of our code from Replit, a online. Now we're learning some new languages. So let me go ahead and minimize my picture here. So right here we have pulled up on my own computer VSCode, which is going to be the GUI that I will be using to kind of code from here on out. And so this is unlike Replit, this is downloaded to my machine. So now I'm able to code from my own personal computer, write code on my computer, and then through GitHub, we're going to learn how to push this code up into servers, up into repositories, in order for me to write code on my computer and then store it in GitHub, but also be able to collaborate with other coders using GitHub. So a few things that we're doing now is this next assignment is going to be creating a single page, kind of like a website using HTML, a little bit of CSS. So the HTML will essentially be the skeleton of the website, kind of the structure, and then CSS is what is used to style that. So we're going to be coding on my machine through VS Code, and then creating the HTML as the skeleton, and then the CSS is the styling for a website or a page at least, and pushing that up into the GitHub repository that I'll be creating. So lots of interesting and cool concepts using two new languages, and really coding on my machine and developing very similar to how I assume real-world developers would actually be working on a day-to-day basis. So super exciting there. I'll create some clips as I'm coming along. Okay, so I'm a little bit further into the assignment, and I'm not going to show you much of the code here because there really isn't much going on. But anyways, I've created a new HTML place where I'm going to be putting my HTML and CSS. And really the assignment is to, like I said, code a website or a page. And I'm going to actually take this as an opportunity to play around with one of my business ideas that I had. And this one is really simple, really almost kind of stupid. But I'm going to try to create a page for the business idea called Wake Up Call, which is just a dumb little idea that people could sign up on a web page and enter in a few bits of information about how they would like to be waken up in the morning, and the time they want to be woken up. Submit that, and I would actually pick up the phone and give them a call. So super dumb, super kind of simple. There's not really any logic behind it besides just like taking in information and storing it. But I'm going to use that as just a kind of inspiration for what I want to code on the HTML. In the background here, my picture is a little bit in the way, but in the background I've got my GitHub set up, and then I've got my blank code ready to be coded. So gonna give it a shot. Okay, so I apologize if this code is far too small to read. Luckily this isn't really about the code here, but here is an example of kind of like all the HTML code that I have written up. That kind of creates the structure of the Wake Up Call web page, which I'll show you. So in another video, I'll probably go in more detail line by line at what's happening in this code. But here, I'll just kind of show you the output. So that code there, which is in VS Code, is then sent up to a page, and this is what it looks like. It is completely unformatted, but we've got Wake Up Call at the top. The all-encompassing solution for those who struggle to get out of bed in the mornings, and basically just a bunch of text and headers and paragraphs and lists and obviously images that are using to make up this page, and this essentially is the skeleton of the website with images. So most of the content, most of the skeleton, the structure, and images are here, as well as the footer with some links are all included in this HTML. And now this is mostly done. There's no logic or anything behind it, no submit forms. I'm not sure how to quite do that yet, but this is just the basic structure. And now I will be putting on some CSS or cascading style sheets, which hopefully is going to come over all of these sections, all of the information on this page, and style it, make it look better, make it actually look like a legit website or business. So pretty cool stuff so far. It's cool to use images and code and code something on my machine that is then interacting with Google and creating web pages. So really, really cool stuff there. Excited to make this look a bit prettier. I have actually started learning some new stuff, and that's how to do JavaScript embedded within HTML and CSS so that we can have some logic going on the back end of my HTML program. So this is just an example on my screen, and I'll just scroll up through this code a little bit so you can kind of see it. But basically what we're doing is we're having JavaScript kind of listen in on button clicks. And so, let me go ahead and run this. On the right hand side, this is kind of an example of what you would see. It's a flight simulator, and it says the shuttle is on the ground. And if I scroll over the takeoff button, I can hit takeoff, and it will change this text to Houston. We have liftoff. So it's doing some listening on the back end and actually doing anything. And another cool thing is if you hover over the abort mission, it changes the background of abort mission to red. And if you go off of it, it goes back to gray. So I had to code in that, and I think that's pretty cool. And obviously, if you hit abort mission, it comes up with this confirm box that says, "Are you sure you want to abort the mission?" And you click OK, and nothing happens. But I've learned how to do that. So embedding some JavaScript within HTML so you can bring some functionality to a website or a program. Okay, I'm super excited to share this with you. It feels like a really big step in my coding journey. Here we're looking at VS Code. Well, actually, you're looking at me. Here we are looking at VS Code, and right now this is HTML, and I'm not going to go through everything, but we have a lot of HTML. It's very basic still, but it's mostly the structure of a website, and so using lots of different classes, using lists and tags, not quite forms yet, but we're going to learn how to do that next. To create a website. And we also have some styling here. And so here is a styling sheet. All of this is styling the web page that I might have shown you in the last clip. But here is what it has produced. This is Wake Up Call, and it's the first website that I've coded from scratch, and it's basically the first iteration of a business idea that I had, not one that will make money, but one that I just thought was really funny. And so here we have Wake Up Call, and I'm not going to read through all the text, but I'll just slowly scroll down and show how things are centered. Stuff is kind of different size, there's different colors, there's different fonts. And it's really basic, and it really isn't that beautiful, but just it makes me happy being able to see this, being able to code all of this from scratch, being able to use a little bit of JavaScript, some HTML, some CSS, and kind of bring it all together in a way that you can actually see on the page. And now it might be kind of an ugly duckling, but it's my ugly duckling. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Real with Ryan and watching the evolution of me learning how to code. This third episode, I have learned so much, from rounding out some JavaScript, learning test-driven development and unit testing, to getting VS Code set up on my own computer and learning how to code in my own environment. From how the internet works, how to use HTML and CSS, this last month has just been incredible in my learning, and I'm so happy that you are watching and joining along with me. I hope that it can inspire you to learn some code and know that, if you put your mind to it, you really can learn a lot, and YouTube is a great way to do that. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for keeping it real with Ryan.